Hey everyone, this is Cameron Eldred. I'm a current Doctor of Athletic Training student through Indiana State University, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the TRIPP framework. Um, that stands for Translating Research into Injury Prevention Practice, and as the title states, this is the framework for injury prevention research. Now, before we truly get into what TRIPP exactly is, I do want to talk about its predecessor, the Van McKellen four-stage process. Now, this process has provided information that has been super valuable for sports medicine for a long time. But again, it did have its limitations. So it allowed for a lot of interpretation. It didn't give a lot of guidance on what exactly needed to happen during the research, and it didn't allow for more specific information to be taken into account, like what exactly is going on in a sport safety-wise, and does that need to be changed? But a little bit about that is the first stage of the four-step process was establishing an extent of a problem. The next was looking at the biomechanical or biological issues that were causing that problem, coming up with a preventative measure, and then applying it, and restarting at stage one if it didn't work. So as you can see, it was just a very quick process. It doesn't necessarily give you a whole lot of instruction, and it just makes you repeat your process over and over. However, another limitation that they ran into is as soon as you found a preventative measure that worked, it didn't encourage you to continue looking at different preventative measures. As soon as you found something that worked, that was it. You were good. So that is why the TRIPP model expanded, and it became a six-stage model with a little bit more guidance and a little bit more direction. So the first portion of it is injury surveillance, looking at what exactly you want to measure, whether it be how to prevent ankle sprains or ACL tears or anything like that. So it's injury surveillance. It's seeing what's going on and what current issues are arising. Next is to establish the etiology or mechanism of injury. So this is looking at what biomechanically or biologically is causing this issue. So what is it? The next step would be then developing a preventative measure. So at this point, we've kind of gone through the first couple of stages of that four-stage process. We've looked at the injury, we've established a mechanism, and we started to develop a preventative measure. However, this is where things get a little bit more different. Now we need to start looking at applying this preventative measure in an ideal condition. So whether that be a laboratory or a controlled area, controlled outside area, whatever you want to look at, whether it's turf, grass, you need to be in a controlled environment, and you need to apply this preventative measure to see if it works. So does your preventative measure control whatever biomechanical issue is at work? And then the next step, so step 5, so that was step 4, so step 5, you're then looking at current issues, current safety issues, so current safety behaviors. So is something like this being applied currently? If it is it working? And if it isn't, why aren't we applying it? And if only half of the teams in the nation are doing it because it's not a requirement, is it working for them? Is this a rule that needs to change? Is there something preventative that we can change that within a game, within a sport, that can prevent injury? But this requires a thorough understanding of the sport that you're looking at, possibly position, because a lot of positions require different actions in different sports. If you look at football, for example, there are multiple different positions. Each person moves a different way. So you need to learn a specific sport and how to apply your preventative measure to specific sports and positions. So do the current safety standards need to change? And then the last portion of this is evaluating the effectiveness of whatever it is that you want to apply in the real world. Now, personally, I'm not applying these things because I never knew about them before. This is not something that I'd ever heard of, and I think a lot of athletic trainers would agree with me on this. This isn't something that we had ever thought about. We were just like, oh, preventative measures, we hear about it, we read about it, we apply it, it works, great, we're going to keep doing it. But we never did it ourselves. So this is something that's new to me, and I'm really excited to start applying because I can do this on a small scale with certain athletes. If I have something going on with a patient that maybe I can't find any research on, I can start applying my own preventative measures. Do they work? Do they not work? What works best? What may not work as well? What's more comfortable? So I'm really excited in order to be able to apply this in my own personal practice, and I'm really excited to be able to teach others about this and talk to other people about this. And I know that this can improve our clinical practice through patient education. This is going to improve, the way that we prevent injuries. This is going to make us happier because we're going to be able to prevent injuries within our patients. They're going to be happy, which makes coaches happy, which makes everybody happy. So preventative medicine, preventative measures is right where we need to be at. And understanding this model and how it works and applying it is going to be crucial to that. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day.